Well, the first thing is Antarctica is the shoreline of our world, right? The shoreline of our world, right? Out of all the continents in the world, if Antarctica is a continent, well, whatever that land is, it's the highest land on the world on average. It's
Hmm.
more than double anyone else. So
Hmm.
if you're going to contain water, you want a high shoreline. That's
Yeah.
Antarctica. It's
Hmm.
the edge of our pond, right? People go, what happens if you get to the end of the earth? You know, you fall off. You get to
Yeah,
the end
yeah,
of a pond. Fall off a pond or a lake? No, you step up onto the land,
yeah.
right? Antarctica is that land. What's beyond? Great question. I take it you've seen my Kiribati information that you want to see. Is that what you want me to discuss?
Yeah, go through it for somebody who hasn't really heard about why Antarctica is so suspicious.
Yeah.
Um, right? Yeah, it's just
So
like, yeah, go ahead.
yeah. All right. So it's suspicious because one, nobody is allowed to go there. No, let me rephrase that. There is no independent exploration of the outer lands of Antarctica,
Yeah, you just can't
right?
go.
You just can't go. You can go on a guided tour. It costs like $40,000, $50,000. You freeze your ass off. You're
Yeah,
not allowed to independently explore. It's just like going to the edge of a lake. It's like pulling up to Long Island on a boat, Long Island, New York,
yeah,
and saying you know what's in California,
yeah.
right?
We were
No,
looking into
you
it
don't know
in
what's in
Argentina.
California.
My wife and I were gonna
Yeah,
do it, and I'm like, no.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's expensive, and I encourage people to go observe what's there. But again, it's the only way to prove the Earth is flat or globe is to have free, independent exploration of Antarctica.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, looking up at the lights in the sky doesn't prove anything other than it will disprove the globe, but it won't disprove flat Earth. It'll just prove our understanding of the sky.
Yeah.
Right. This is just showing you that the edge of our lake, the edge of a lake, is needs higher land. This is it. This isn't an iceberg. This is Antarctica. Right now, there are areas of Antarctica that are lower shoreline, but it quickly ramps up. It's not all an ice wall like this. This is not, not what flat Earth is, right? So, yeah, like this is another area of Antarctica. Not a wall. You can pull your boat up here, but again, it's still containing the oceans of the world.
Hmm.
So another thing is, how many oceans are there? There's the Atlantic, the Pacific, the Indian Ocean, and the Arctic.
Hmm.
But they don't teach us about the Southern Ocean, which is bigger than all of them combined, and it's unexplored. That's weird. We want to go to Mars, but we don't even know what's in our Southern Ocean,
Hmm.
right? Everything past 60 degrees south is off limits. Yeah, and if you want to file a permit to go there, it'll cost you like $2 million in fees and studies, and then they'll deny it and they keep the money. You don't get your
Yeah,
money back.
yeah,
So it makes it impossible to go. Admiral Bird
yeah.
flew out there and ticker tape parade. Oh my God, amazing. And he went on the news and said that Antarctica, there's land bigger than the United States on the other side of the South Pole. That would
Yeah.
be in between for us from where it came from. It would be in between Australia and South Africa. Do you think if there was another continent size of the United States that they would have noticed it by now? Right? You think they would have noticed it by now?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I don't think so.
I read
And
Bird's journals, but do you think those are legit? Admiral Bird's
I
like
think that a lot of it until the last chapter where it was a totally different writing style, right?
yeah.
Like after he died, that's when it was released, and someone else wrote it,
Okay.
right? So Commander Bird, what does it say? Discovers new land in Antarctica,
Mhm.
right? So he talked about that, and then all of a sudden he dies. Okay, weird, right? This is when him on the news. Look what's behind him.
Boom.
It's a flat Earth clock.
We got him.
It's a flat Earth clock. All right,
Yeah.
weird. It's all right. And then right after that, they started the Antarctic Treaty. They started NASA. And you know what? All the countries in the world were fighting over resources, power. Everyone's fighting this, fighting that. It's just a total mess, but everybody can agree on two things. no independent exploration of Antarctica, and everybody's got to get the jibby jab stuck in their arm. Weird how they agree on those two things, because it's all about controlling humanity. Controlling humanity. But I'm going to get to, and that way, how do they, it's a big area to patrol. They have these radar buoys that can sense waves, and there's all different ways. Like if you're going on a boat or an airplane, you will be intercepted by fighter jets, by warships. And there's 7 islands that go all the way around the Earth. One of them is the Falkland Islands. I don't know if you're old enough to remember the Falkland War. Why are we fighting over that stupid little island? And it's because it's a key to getting into Antarctica.
Yeah, like there'll be guys who like Australian dudes in boats, like they just like kind of ripping south, and then all of a sudden there'll be like Navy vessels like stopping them, just chilling there, right? Yeah.
Yep. And there's some that are not on film like that, where people did get permission, and then they get there and they're turned around, they're arrested, they're sent to jail. I mean, there's boats are seized, right? If the Earth was a globe, we can go from Santiago, Chile, to Australia. Just fly right around here, fly right around there, right? That would only work on a globe Earth. Now that flight does exist, but it's not that short of a flight.
Yeah,
it's not that short of a flight.
Just
now,
on that.
Used to say,
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say on that one. That's one I put in the flat Earth camp. Like when you look at all these plane routes, right? Like if you were to draw a straight line on the ball, it makes no sense what they're doing. Well, like because they'll go like from Argentina like up to UK, right, and then down to Africa or something. But then if you look on a flat Earth, it's a line. Those things I found really interesting. The plane routes.
Let me ask you a question. If the Earth is a globe, you got your equator around the middle. You with me?
Yeah.
And the equator's around the middle. There's hundreds or thousands of airports in the north. Any two combinations of a origin airport and a destination airport, and they're both in the north. Would any of those northern planes ever need to cross the equator to get to another northern airport?
No.
And guess what? They never have. Every northern airport to destination to another northern airport, I don't care if they're on opposite sides of the world, both near the equator, one near the North Pole, doesn't matter. You would never need to cross below the equator. It doesn't make sense. And guess what? No plane ever does that in the north. Same should be true in the south. 2 southern airports should never have to go into the north.
But they do all the time, right? Yeah. Do you have that handy? Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
Do I have it handy?
Dude,
they call me
professional.
Flat Earth Dave.
It's professional.
Okay? They call me Flat Earth Dave. I don't even need screen sharing. Okay. All right. You're all worried about screen sharing. I don't need no screen sharing. You can't stop me.
I love you, man. Dude. I love you.
New Zealand to Argentina, the Great Circle Route. That's how they trick you. It's basically just here, boom, there. Not even going over Antarctica. There's islands out here with runways that could stop. Okay.
Yeah.
So they like going over land because in case you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Do you want to see the out? Right. This is the equator.
Yeah.
The yellow line here is the equator.
Yeah.
Okay. It goes from New Zealand to San Francisco to Texas, and then all the way back down. Wait a minute. Why did this go here? This right here on the globe is shorter than the first leg of the trip.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to explain, Dave.
It's easy to explain. New Zealand, San Francisco, Texas, Argentina. Get a straight edge. Tell me if that line is bent at all. It's a perfectly straight line.
Well, have you ever seen... Go back to the previous one there. Yeah, so have you ever seen Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift?
What?
Have you seen that movie?
No.
The Drift? You know what drifting is in a car, right?
Yeah, so it drifts.
So that's what they're doing. They're taking off in the plane, and then they're drifting the Earth, the ball, and it just looks that way.
I think we're going to have to get into some good flat Earth comedy. I got some good comedy for you. You want some comedy?
Well, yeah, I want to get into... I don't know how much time you got. I want to get into Antarctica, but yeah, I'm down for whatever.
Well, I'm going back to Antarctica. We're gonna show you.
Yeah, what do you got?
By the way, I always preface this because there's a lot of people that think we're just in there and there's nothing past Antarctica. Okay, cool. Earth is flat, right? But I think there is stuff beyond Antarctica, but that's okay. We don't need to go there to prove the shape of the Earth. But there's a lot of evidence
Yeah.
of land, outer lands. Okay.
Yeah, I'm way more interested in that actually, because
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna
yeah,
show you. I'm gonna
yeah, go,
blow your mind.
please.
So you mentioned that you have you're having a kid.
Yeah,
Having
yeah.
a first, second, third,
First, yeah.
first.
Yeah,
Okay,
man.
congratulations.
Thanks.
So where's am I in Antarctica? All right. So this is, where am I? I have something. It's got a little sidetracked here. All right. So Antarctica and the North Pole are the two places that would prove flatter globe. Both of them are off limits physically, and guess what? They're off limits virtually.
Yeah,
I can go on Google. You can do this. I'll measure around South America. Gives me square miles, right there. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
What happens when I measure Antarctica? I go around it. It should give me the square miles, and watch what happens. What the heck is that?
Oh.
Is that a little weird? Hold on, back it up a little bit. Right?
Yeah.
It's doing this weird, kind of like everything has been wrapped around and it's trying to measure the outside and it's making a loop. And the funny thing is, if we go up to the north and we measure the North Pole, right? Let's go to the North Pole and we'll just say, okay, it goes nice big around the North Pole. You think it's going to give me the square miles? Nope. What's going on? So it's virtually and physically off limits. Now, wait a minute. Maybe it just doesn't work in the north. Let me measure Greenland. I go around Greenland. Okay? Works perfectly. Works perfectly. Right? And then if you try to do the circumference of the Earth, right? So the Earth should be 24,901 miles around. So I'm going to pull a line all the way around the Earth, right? So I'm going to pull a line. Just fast forward so I don't take up too much time. So I'm pulling a line all the way around the Earth. And we're going to connect it. That should work. Ooh, what's it doing? It just flipped. It won't let you pull a line all the way around the Earth.
Yeah, but that could just be like
So
Google Earth
watch,
sucking.
Yeah, well, it's weird.
Yeah, obviously it's weird.
It won't work. And when I get back to where the line was, ready? I'm not so good connecting. Here it is. And when connect it, watch what happens. It's the same thing. Oh, it does the same thing. It does the same weird thing. Doesn't do it anywhere else. Just does it there. Okay?
Okay.
Antarctica. This is a encyclopedia we found.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's from 1954 and 1955.
Nice.
And right there it says that they were doing a trip around Antarctica. The trip took 22 days. Okay, Antarctica is 10,000 miles around. 22 days. Okay, by airplane. All right, weird. So they went from here to Little America Base, which is right here. Right.
Yeah.
And so here it is. Here are all of the bases on a flat Earth map. Right.
Yeah.
And they went from here. First stop was here. Second stop was here. Third stop, fourth stop. It took 22 days to go all the way. That makes sense. On a 10,000 mile little continent, it doesn't make any sense at all. Right.
Yeah.
The expedition made extensive flights covering all of the Antarctic coasts.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
about
yeah.
the inland? What about the inland?
Yeah, wasn't there? I was listening to Eric DeBay, one of his books or something, and he's saying, wasn't there like an expedition in the 1800s or 1900s, and they found like the Antarctic ice wall, and they just kept going, and it was like years of like just endless following around the ice wall or something like that.
To circle Antarctica twice, I think, or maybe more, and it took him 3.5 years, and he went over 68,000 miles. Should have been 10,000. 11, 12, 13, 14,000, 15,000, 68,000 miles. That's a problem.
Isn't that what's the circumference of the Earth?
The circumference at the widest part of the bulging equator, the pear-shaped equator, is 24,901 miles around, according to Neil dePaire Tyson.
Okay, so this guy, he says he went 60,000 miles around and didn't
68,000. 68,000.
Yeah, see, that's
right?
what I'm saying. Things like that, like, I hear you, Davey. Like,
So check this out. This is the Ellsworth transatlantic expedition. So they went from this little island,
okay.
and then they went over to this other island right here,
Yeah.
and then they went to Little America, which was over here. Then they went to the South Pole,
Yeah.
right, which they're showing to be here,
Yeah.
and then they went back. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. How come they didn't go all the way across? Let's look at that. What's really going on? Okay. So he went here. So they started here, 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 and back. Let's zoom out a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So they this is their trip right here. This is all they did, right? If we zoom out and we look at this map, he did this. They went from here to here to here to here to here. They didn't go here and pop up over here. They didn't explore all of this. All of this is bigger than all of the whole world. That's a possibility. We don't know what's out here.
Yeah.
Right? That's all they did is this little cha-cha. Okay, this little peninsula. Now, by the way, this is a massive trip. Look at South America. Now, South America is huge. This is almost as big as South America. That's a massive trip. You think you're told it's a little continent, right?
Yeah.
It's smaller than South America. You went, it was cold. You don't know. You can't see anything. The people that did it might actually believe they went to the South Pole.
Yeah.
But they just went and they said, hey, and they couldn't check because compasses don't work because it's too far from the north. And guess what? If GPS works, it's controlled by NASA. So they could be like, yeah, you're at 0 degrees. Sure, just dial it in 0.
Yeah.
Okay, this is 0 right here. I mean, it's all just a fake construct.
Yeah.
Right? And then this other woman that supposedly went to the North Pole, she went here. This is her trip right here. Right? This is all she did. This is all she did. That's it. That's it. And because she's a woman and she was on skis and she had dogs, it's crazy. And then why are all of the mountains called Dome A and Dome B and Dome C? Now, if you undo this,
firmament, bro,
you have to peel it out. Those are all the mountains that go around. Do you know those mountains are taller than Everest?
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
Why don't they teach us that in school?
No, man, it's true. Like, the Antarctica is so suspicious. Like, yeah, you got these guys who are trying to boat around it. It took 68,000 miles. You got like all the people
Captain
before
Cook,
they win the
remember
elections are just going down.
Captain Cook. Yeah, and these officials, they go down to what they call South Pole Station, one of those stations that I showed you near the shoreline.
Yeah.
And then they disappear for 3 days.
Yeah.
And then they report that they're back there, and then they go home. Where did they go?
Yeah.
I personally,
what do you
have any
think?
proof? I just have testimony and some evidence. I think that there's cities of millions of people in Antarctica.
Like breakaway civilization?
Now, we might be the breakaway civilization. There's been some army guys that have NDAs, and they're like, there's millions of people living in Antarctica. They're not allowed to communicate with the inner world. Okay,
what?
That's just hearsay. I have no proof of it.
Where's that coming from? Like buddies of yours?
Some army guys. There was a flat earther that was working on doing some housework, some like window install at this guy's 94 years old. Our army guy, he's chatting him up as he's changing his windows in his kitchen, and the army guy noticed the flat earth sticker on his car, and they said, hey, I like your sticker. And they, oh, flat earth, huh? And he's like, yeah, I was stationed in Antarctica. And so the person's like talking to him and asking him, and he said the guy got very nervous. He goes, listen, I can only tell you so much. I have an NDA until I'm 100 years old. Isn't that special? Okay, 100 years old. And he goes, what I can tell you is that there's millions of people living in Antarctica. Shit. And they're not allowed to communicate. Now, that's hearsay. Could be a crazy old man.
Obviously.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? So if the Earth is a ball and we're tilted towards the sun, then you come around the other side, you're tilted away. So the north and the south would have a balance. It would be the 6 months apart. It should be basically the same weather at the same latitudes, right? Same life at the same latitudes, right?
Yeah.
Right? Just January is their summer, and June and July is our summer.
Yeah.
Same thing, right? But in Antarctica, let me read this. No plants, no life, no plant of any kind, not even a lichen of moss has been found within 64 degrees parallel south latitude. 64. There's nothing. While north to a latitude of 83, which is farther than 64, it's 20 degrees farther north at an elevation of 2,000 feet above sea level, there is no absence of animal life. All kinds of animals and plants, both trees, four-legged creatures, birds, potatoes, cabbage, right? Man has never yet, what does it say? Never yet gone northward where vegetation of some sort does not exist. But at 64 degrees south, it's all gone. That matches the flat Earth model. It does not match a globe model. It makes 0 sense on a globe model, right? So here's a one I haven't shown in a long time. This little, check this out. We're zooming in on North Pole. Watch this. It might be hard to see. There's a glitch. Like when you're trying to zoom in on the North Pole, which used to have land, the old maps show 4 rivers and like 4 continents up there, but now it's all water. But it's really hard to see here. It totally glitches. Like they're hiding.
Dude, something's going on. Yeah.
They're hiding. Right.
Like, do you think it's like, because Bird was saying like it's like a oasis or something, right? Like, do you think it is a tropical oasis? Do you think it's high technology? Also, didn't you say you found like mega ships just like going into the Antarctic and disappearing?
You wanted to hear about Antarctica? I'm going a little long.
Sorry, man. No, sorry. Please continue.
No, it's all good. It's going good. I'm kind of saving that for last.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So what about flying, circumnavigating south to north, right, from pole to pole? So there was a thing called Last Flight, or I forget what it's called, and they went from the North Pole down here, right, through New York, and then South America. They went to the South Pole, and they went up back, through Russia. Hey, they circumnavigated pole to pole. You see a problem with it? Let's put that exact coordinates on a flat Earth map. That's all they did.
Yeah,
that's all they did. If your town hall was at the center of your town, and the town hall was the North Pole of your town, and you walked all the way around the outskirts of your town, is your town a sphere? No, it's not. It's not. Right?
It's a dome, bro.
Yeah, another guy that did he was going for the Guinness Book of World Records. He went down, went here, went here, went here, went here. He went to the South Pole, and then he said the weather was too bad, so he turned around and came back and went all the way up. And we tracked him when he was doing it because he had this thing called spider tracks. And we're like, yep, he didn't get it. He had to turn around. And of course he had to turn around because Earth is flat. Guinness Book gave him the world record for south-north circumnavigation, even though he didn't do it. This is all he did. Boom, 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 boom. That's all he did. That's his trip right there, right? And so why is Guinness giving him the record? The Antarctic sailboat race, a lot of people bring that up. The South has the heaviest, strongest winds in the world, but every single sailboat distance speed record has been done in the North by over like 200 miles. Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes no sense. Stronger winds in the South, but GPS is saying you're going, X distance, and it's really 10X. Yeah. And you think you can't measure it because you're out on the water. So you really, those boats go 20, 30 miles an hour. If you look at the sailboat race and the distance that the globe says they went, and you divide time over distance, they're averaging 4 miles per hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the winner of the race, it's like somebody going in the Indy 500 and go, yeah, I won. How fast are we going? 25.
But aren't these? Did they point that out? The actual people in the race.
There actually is 1 or 2 or maybe more people in that race, captains, that they know the Earth is flat. They whistle blew on it. Okay. And then last year, or the year before, on their website, one leg of the race, they actually said that the one leg of the race was 32,000 miles from South Africa. This leg of the race, 32,000 miles. Wait a minute. The equator is only 25,000 miles. How is this leg of the race 32,000 miles? And then they had to go up here and like another 10 or 15, right? How is that? This was on their website.
Okay. Yeah.
So the circumference is 24,901 miles around. You're down here. Now you can't go right around because there's ice, so you have to go a little farther out, but it would have to be less than 24,000. It would have to be like 15,000 maybe 16, 17,000. But this leg is 32,000. This alone should end the discussion, but people just want to hold on to their ball, right? This is what the actual leg is. So this is the 32,000 right here. This, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And I think they actually go farther north than that, but that's a whole nother thing.
Has somebody made like a flat Earth Google Maps where it's like the flat Earth and you can measure the distances? Like, have you guys?
Yeah.
Well, you got to get on.
Yeah. I just need $6 billion and access to everything. Now think about this: GPS is free for everybody everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's closed source. No one's allowed to see the code because that's how they're hiding the flat Earth. That's how they're hiding the flat Earth. Why can't we see the code? Why can't we see the code? There's no reason. There's no national security. There's nothing. This is what you were talking about right here. So you can track ships, cargo ships, and cruise ships, and get all the information. Click on a ship and you can see who they are, where they're going. 730 miles inside of Antarctica, which is 1.9 miles higher than the ocean, has an active ship hit that high in Antarctica. Found another one 905 miles in to the closest port. That was over 2.37 miles above sea level. How does an active ship get there? We click on it, and it says the ship is 850 meters long, 80 meters wide. I don't know about you, but that's a gigantic ship. I don't even know any ships that big. Yeah, gigantic ship. To me, these are like ships that are using, free energy. Who knows what they are, right? These are ships that we don't really get to access. So,
well, don't you? It shows the name of the ship, though, right? Can't you look up what ship it is?
So we clicked it. Thank you. Thanks for asking. And it said it is registered to the nation of Kiribati, which is spelled Kiribati with a T, and that's it. It doesn't say anything else. It doesn't say anything else. Okay. So now this map was found in a Buddhist temple, published in 1910 in a Hawaiian newspaper, showing all these continents out there. Now, remember what I said? We take that map and we wrap it around a basketball. All of these continents are going to get squished together, and we're going to call that Antarctica. You have to cut out all that paper. It's just going to be a big smush at the bottom. So just remember that for a moment. Remember that, right? So let's take a look where Kiribati is. Kiribati. And it's right there. I had to put a pin on it. It's a little friggin' sandbar in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Little sandbar. Okay? This little tiny island. Right? And China and the US gave them $10 billion recently. $10 billion. What for? What are they doing there? Growing bananas? Okay? But they say that Kiribati is a very important trade route. Why does a giant ship have to stop at a sandbar? So one of our investigators, people that were looking, they found Captain Cook Hotel. Remember Captain Cook? He's the guy that went around 68,000 miles. Found a Captain Cook bed and breakfast on Kiribati. Maybe it's someone that's just obsessed. But now we have a Captain Cook Hotel on that island. We've got a ship in an impossible place that we can't explain why it's going to this sandbar. Okay? Doesn't prove anything. Interesting. Now, if we look at all the ships that are pulling up to the gigantic pier, all of them, their destination, they have very limited information, and their destination was either unknown or Christmas Island. Right? That's weird.
Yeah.
Right? And then if you know that nukes don't exist, they did nuke testing in Kiribati. The stories are so stupid. Okay? Look at these guys. A nuke bomb's going off over there. And these guys are just walking around. Would you be running the other way, hitting the deck, doing something? These guys oh yeah, nuke bomb. What's that? I think it's just a bonfire. Okay? But they want you to believe that it's a nuke bomb, and they show this picture, which is used all the time. It's been used for years.
Yeah.
Right? They just don't want you going. Anytime they say nuclear bombs, you should say, what are they really doing there? Okay.
Okay.
And then remember we were talking about time zones. There's a weird time zone that does this zigzag. It goes across 3.5 time zones. This is the date line. And guess what's in the most suspicious spot? Kiribati. Weird. Why is it there? What does it prove? I don't know what it means. It means it's weird.
Wait, what's that time zone called? Is there a name for that one?
It's the international date line, right? It makes no sense. On a ball, we should have perfect sections of an orange, perfect lines. There's no other explanation. The ball is spinning. The sun is going around. The sun doesn't zigzag, right? This is because remember all that paper we're squeezing around the ball and it gets crumpled up? It's crumpled up here. They're hiding. They're hiding
no,
the
Dave,
flat Earth.
What you don't get is the Earth has become overweight due to capitalism, so it's got a fat ass. And then the sun bends the light around the ass, and it creates this illusion of weird time.
Can I mute you? I can actually mute you. I could. But I won't.
No, that's interesting, man. I didn't know that at all. Yeah, you drop a lot of knowledge, man. I just want to be.
So hold on. We're almost done with this, but there's more. Wait. There's more. Okay.
Go for it.
Since our videos were going viral on this, and everyone's typing in Kiribati, and Google Earth takes you right there. Now you do it. It takes you to the other side of the world to this little nothing K. Like what? And so if you want to go find Kiribati, it's on the other side of the world now. And they changed the name to Kirimati with an M. They changed the name. There's Kirimati. This is what you'll find now. And then if we look, my old one, pronounced Kiribati. All right.
Interesting.
And the whole thing is pronounced Kiribati anyway. Why did they change the name? That's weird. Just weird. Yeah. Weird. Yeah. And then I told you that the time zones all changed. So what is really going on? This is what I think. So where is my? So we have that. So if the Earth was like this, which I believe it is, here's the ship from Kiribati going out here. Wrap that around a ball and it's going to put it in the middle of a continent. What's out here? Other breakaway civilizations. What are they trading? Maybe they're just trading tuna fish. Where's all that tuna? Do you like sushi? Like, where's it all come from? There's always tuna everywhere. Fresh. Is it coming from the outer? Like, that's a lot more. Look, we have fishing in here or fishing all the way out here. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's computer chips. We had some interesting stories from some people at Intel that said they don't know where these chips are coming from. The CEO brings out a chip, then they mass produce it. And they bring out another chip that's 10 times faster and they mass produce it. Like, where are these chips coming from? Are weapons coming from there? Are technology coming from there? You know, maybe who knows what they're trading? Maybe they're trading children. I don't know. But how would you know? Because you didn't even hear about Kiribati until you started following me.